Everyone blames Loki for the Ragnarok, but have you ever stopped to think that maybe Loki was just a victim of Odin's ambition? There are many factors that influenced the Ragnarok prophecy, but Odin, the god of wisdom, the father of all, was the main factor, and in this video, you will know why Odin was the real responsible. The Ragnarok prophecies describe several signs that will mark the beginning of the end of the world. These include the rise of conflict and disorder in the world, the death of Baldor, and the cold winter of Fimbulvetr, among others. The prophecy predicts that Ragnarok will culminate in an apocalyptic battle where many Norse gods will clash and fall. Each one of them has a marked destiny, such as Odin being devoured by the wolf Fenrir, Thor fighting against the serpent Jormungandr and dying, and Surtur killing Freyr. After this, the world would be consumed by fire and submerged in water, leading to its destruction. However, not everything ends with Ragnarok, as the world will rise again, renewed and fertile, and some gods will survive, while others will be reborn. Odin, known as the father of all, is the god of war, wisdom, poetry, and magic. Unlike other warrior gods, Odin is associated not only with the brutal aspects of battle, but also with strategy and cunning thought. He is revered for his wisdom and quest for knowledge, although it was this obsession with wisdom that marked the beginning of the end, which brings us to the first point. Odin was obsessed with increasing his wisdom and knowledge. Always concerned about the fate of the gods and the world, he constantly sought ways to gain information about the future and anything that might threaten his reign and that of the Aesir. One of the most famous sources of knowledge was the Well of Mimir. It was said that whoever drank from its waters would gain unparalleled knowledge and understanding, but the price for drinking from the waters was high. Mimir demanded Odin's right eye as payment. Odin accepted the price and sacrificed his eye. Through this sacrifice, Odin gained knowledge about many hidden mysteries and also became aware of the fate of the gods, Ragnarok. Another crucial moment in his quest for knowledge is when he acquires the runes, magical symbols that contain deep and secret powers. It is said that Odin hung on Yggdrasil, the world tree, for 9 nights, wounded by his own spear, as a sacrifice to himself. At the end of this suffering, the runes were revealed to him. This knowledge expanded his wisdom and also strengthened his ability to influence events and destinies. With all this power, knowledge, and wisdom, he began to prepare for the impending Ragnarok, including the gathering of fallen warriors in Valhalla. The paradox in Odin's quest for knowledge is that the more he learned about Ragnarok and the more he tried to prepare for and possibly prevent it, the more he seemed to be contributing to its coming. Odin had already contributed to the rivalry between the Jotuns and the Aesir before the vision, as for example when he slaughtered all the Jotuns, with the exception of one who managed to escape and prosper in Jotunheim. In several stories, he employs deception to overcome the giants, either to obtain magical artifacts, knowledge, or to eliminate a perceived threat. These acts fueled resentment between the giants and the gods, creating rivalry, hostility, and distrust. One of the most important figures in the relationship between Odin and the giants is Loki, who is himself a giant and yet lives among the gods. Odin's actions towards Loki and his descendants, the wolf Fenrir, the serpent Jormungandr, and Hel, are especially important for the contribution to Ragnarok. In the prophecy, it was said that a giant and ferocious wolf, a snake so big that it could go around the world and bite its own tail, and a woman who was half dead and half alive, would be the main factors for the Ragnarok. So Odin thought that these were the sons of Loki, so he decided to expel them. Hel was sent to the realm of the underworld, eventually becoming the queen. Although she does not actively participate in the battle, she was crucial in sending her army of the dead to the war. Jormungandr was expelled to the seas, but there he managed to grow more than ever to the point of surrounding all of Midgard. And Fenrir, at the time a puppy, was adopted by the gods and cared for by Tyr to try to control it. But the wolf grew at an alarming rate, so Odin fearfully ordered Tyr to chain the beast, which led to the loss of Tyr's arm and the growth of hatred towards the gods. With that in mind, it is easy to understand why later the Jotuns and the sons of Loki joined together to kill all the gods.
Oh, now I see. Now I get it. Now the pieces are falling into place.
But despite the banishment of his sons, Loki had another motive to rebel against the gods. Baldor was Odin's most beloved son, known for his beauty and kindness. The prophecy foretold Baldor's untimely death, which would trigger Ragnarok. In an attempt to avoid this prophecy, Odin and his wife Frigg took measures to protect Baldor. They traveled the world, making every object, animal, plant, creature, or weapon swear not to harm Baldor. However, he forgot to make the mistletoe swear. With Baldor invulnerable, the gods began a game where they threw objects at him to see how they bounced harmlessly off him.
It's a good idea, right? It's a good idea.
Loki, jealous of Baldor and perhaps resentful of the cruel banishment of his sons, discovered the secret to killing him. He created a mistletoe arrow and tricked Hoder, Baldor's blind brother, into shooting it during the game, fatally striking the god. His death was seen as one of the first signs of the impending Ragnarok. After Baldor was killed by Loki's trickery, Odin decided to punish him by taking him to a cave and binding him with the entrails of one of his sons. The rope made from the entrails was transformed into iron chains. As if that were not enough, a poisonous snake was placed on Loki in such a way that the poison constantly fell on his face. Sigyn, Loki's wife, stood by his side, holding a bowl over him to catch the poison. But when she had to empty the bowl, the poison fell on him, and he was overcome. Every time a drop of poison fell on Loki, he contorted his body in pain, making the earth itself tremble, creating what humans know as earthquakes. Loki's punishment extended until Ragnarok, when he would break free of his chains and, sure enough, lead the enemies of the gods in the final battle against the Aesir. Which leads me to this conclusion. If Odin did not want to have all the knowledge of the universe, if he did not try to prevent Ragnarok at all costs, maybe he would have a chance to survive. Maybe he was destined to do all this. But without a doubt, Odin was the one who triggered in a more or less active way the events of Ragnarok. Despite his pride in some situations, Odin wanted the best for Asgard. Do you think he is an evil god or just a hostage of an inevitable destiny? And if you want to know the history of Odin in depth and the creation of the Norse world, I leave you this video.